Welcome back to the Navy Sports Magazine as we get to talk a little men's swimming with Thomas Duvall, and talking with your coach a couple of weeks ago as you all now get set for Patriot League championships coming up, amongst other things. What was the training camp like when you all came back to school? Because you all have a unique part of the schedule where you have part of it before the holiday break and the exam break, and then you pick up obviously with this second half of the schedule. What was that training camp like for you all getting back in the pool after a little bit of time off?
Yeah, it's definitely tough because going into training trip, we have exams first, and it's hard to balance exams and swimming going into that week break we got at home. And then we come back, and some people swim a little more than they should, and some people swim a little less than they should. So it's definitely tough getting back into the swing of things. We don't get the full break that most people do here, but it's great having the team atmosphere. Everyone's there for each other, and even though we're swimming a lot more than usual during that time, we don't really have anything else to stress about. It's pretty much just focus on swimming, rest, and getting everything you need to do the best you can during that training trip.
From day one since you've been here, the quality of people in your pool, how much has that helped you and you help others push each other in times like that? Because let's face it, there's a standard that has been set here by plenty of swimmers who have come before you. And I know no class wants to be that group that lets that standard down.
Definitely.
What has it been like to grow from the time you got here to the time to where you are now?
It's been great. Just the competitive atmosphere in general, swimming with my classmates and the team in general. Everyone's just striving to push each other to the best of their abilities, and we're constantly racing every day in the pool and pushing each other outside of the pool, in the hall and academics and everything. So definitely setting that standard from day one. You look at the first class on the team and the upper class on the team when we first got here, and my class specifically, we got here and we were like, we want to be like that, like as quick as possible. So we just been pushing each other and pushing everyone on the team, and I think it's really helped so far.
How unique is it? Because let's face it, in your sport, your chief enemy in many cases is the clock. That's the one thing that you can consistently measure yourself by. But yet at the same time, you can have the best day of your life in the pool from a clock standpoint. You can't control how maybe somebody else competes against you that day.
Exactly.
How do you balance that part of the competition? Because it's very unique to your sport.
Yeah, it's definitely unique. Some days you're racing the clock, some days you're racing for those points. If it's a dual meet or a Patriot League or even NCAAs, that's what makes it tough sometimes, because you don't know if you, like you said, you go for a really good time and you get the time you're looking for, but you're still maybe not what place you want, or you didn't get qualified for a certain meet you wanted to get. So it's definitely tough, but I guess you just take it meet by meet and set your goals in advance and try to go through with that.
I know in a lot of sports everybody talks about how you have to go hard every play, every minute of every game, and things of that nature. Is there a pace, though, that you have to set for yourself during the course of a swimming season to make sure that you don't necessarily burn out maybe before you get to the end of the journey?
Yeah, exactly. And that's tough for a lot of people too, because the season is so long and you really don't stop. You have the winter season, and as soon as you're finished with the collegiate season, you look towards nationals and things like that, and qualifying for these other big meets. So it's definitely a tough thing where some people might burn out, but you really just need to take it day by day and week by week, and be there with your teammates and focus on that one set or that one practice and getting through that and getting better in that sense, and looking forward to these big meets like Patriots and trying to qualify for NCAAs or Olympic trials and doing the best to represent the Naval Academy.
Let's go back to the Army meet for a minute. The electricity in the building that night, what was that like to compete in what was just an amazing environment?
Yeah, definitely. This meet here, Army-Navy, is one of my favorite meets I've ever had to been able to compete with. And that atmosphere with the midshipmen in the hall just coming in and supporting us, having people like Rowdy Gaines come, who's a phenomenal person in the swimming world, coming and being so energetic and surprised at how well we're doing, not even just for a Navy Army kind of thing, but at a national level or collegiate level as a whole. So that's just, it pumps us up so much, and we just perform a lot better at that kind of meeting.
How great was it to see him not only here, because during your swimming career, I'm sure you've seen great swimmers along the way, heard from them at camps and clinics maybe and things of that nature, but to have Rowdy come in here and interact with you all the way that he did on the pool deck and during the competition, reaching out to high five people as they went by in appreciation for the effort that you all were giving in the pool. Mm-hmm. As someone who's given obviously a lot of your life to this sport, to be able to interact with arguably one of the greatest of all time, what was that like to be able to have that interaction and share that with him on that occasion?
It's definitely great, and it's also a little stressful at first because you're like, wow, some of these like big names are here watching us, and it's time for us to put up and do the best we can. But it's also great. You just gotta have fun with it and enjoy the moment and be able to appreciate what's going on there. So
unique to your sport, maybe in terms of training. But how much does your diet change from what a normal diet would be in the off season to what you have to do to keep yourself obviously in peak physical condition in season?
It's definitely unique because we're doing a ton of cardio, and a lot of the time we're just going out and trying to eat as much as we can just to keep that energy up. Because once we do
a lot of peanut butter and jelly at King Hall.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to fit in those extra sandwiches at the end of the meals when things are running a little low. So it's just making sure you have a quick snack before practice, or you get that little extra during lunch just so you don't kind of burn out at the end of practice. So there's not really too much of a diet. It's just more so making sure you're getting enough calories and enough balance.
As you've continued to collect the hardware here during the course of your career, how have you been able to balance the expectations that you have for yourself to maintain that level of excellence that you've set and continue to build on each year here?
Yeah, that's definitely one of the things I kind of struggled with last year, just coming off of such a great sophomore season. Last year I was kind of the guy people were looking to beat, and I was kind of the guy people expected to set the bar in pretty much everything, whether it be practice or dual meets. And I did the best I could to be that guy, be that leader. And I kind of struggled a little bit at the end of the year, but I think I just had to take a step back and appreciate the moment and just be humble about it and go out there and do the best I can every time. And I think it's worked so far this year.
I know a lot of people talk about that, but at a place where leadership is obviously expected, it's demanded of you, is that hard to try and increase that leadership level? Because you can sit there and talk in the locker room about it and talk in practice about it, but having to go out and actually do it and then obviously take it to the level you have this year, is that harder to do? Because, I mean, let's face it, you're a different athlete. You're a guy that does well at what you do, and there are expectations of you constantly every day in the pool.
Yeah, definitely. With leadership, you can talk about it all day, and you can go to the classroom and you can learn about it and look at different things. But the bottom line is just your actions, going out there and being the guy that's leading the lanes of practice and throwing down the times where people are looking at you and they're like, wow, I want to do that, and I want to do just as well, and inspiring other people to put in that work too, and showing that like there's nothing different about me, and just like trying to go out there and do the same thing. So it's definitely challenging, and but it's a lot of fun too. So
what are you hoping for post grad here after the academy?
So I'm going to be around here for the summer, training a little bit. I might go to Olympic trials like that, like I said. Just looking to help with the swim team a little bit after, put in a little bit of give back a little bit to the team that have been here for the past 4 years. So that's my plan so far this summer, at least.
All right, appreciate you taking the time for us, and best of luck with what remains of your season here.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, Thomas Duvall joining us here on the Navy Sports Magazine.